Great. All righty, we'll wait and see. We'll be getting a lot of the people coming on. All right, let's see. They're rolling in. It's always funny to see all the numbers tick up. You're excited. I'm gonna grab some water. Welcome everybody.
Welcome everybody to our champion webinar with Jofre Porta. We're just going to wait to get everybody in and then we'll get started. Welcome, welcome.
All right. They're rolling in. Jofre, people want to get to Mallorca. They want to know. They want to be there.
Mallorca is a beautiful place, really. I know from here. I born in Barcelona. I come here when I'm 22, but I absolutely am involved with and connected with this island.
That's unbelievable. And while people are coming on, if they don't know your background, I mean, tennis has really been kind of your life in a long time, but in a different way, a very philosophical education and training way, thinking we all know, the Apple slogan, think different, right? And it sounds like you've thought differently about the sport and things for many years. And the results, it's hard because you've had done so much in, these decades with the sport. Obviously, people from a tiny island, there have been, 2 number 1 players in the world, and you've worked with both of them, which is pretty unbelievable. Legends of the game. Obviously, I'm a little bit older, so for me, a Carlos Moya forehand was like the dream of a lifetime to be able to, use that. It's like a weapon, like in a war. And then obviously, Rafael Nadal doesn't even need talk. There's probably on this planet, athletes that have he's right now, the greatest of all time, and having been able to work with him. And I think here we have so many families, juniors from all over the world, some in South America, mostly United States, some in Europe, but it's a different world now, right? I mean, training young, everything is starting so young. Everything is, how do you balance this education, this sport, but the sport is really life and all this. So I kind of will hand it over to you, but I look forward to just welcoming you. Thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to meet with our families. It's really, it's an honor to be able to talk tennis philosophy and education with you.
It's a real pleasure, really. You will see that we don't found the border in the education life, and tennis is for us is in the same place. It's different types of words, but it's the same work.
Absolutely. So take us back to you a little bit early. How did you get involved in this? What is a little bit of your background and getting into tennis? And I'd love to hear a little bit about your story.
Really, it's everything in my life is rare, because I was not a tennis player. I tried to play basketball. I don't grow. And finally, I played basketball in a tennis club in Barcelona. Was one of the top tennis clubs in Spain. And because I'm very serious, it's a little talent that the head coach asked me if I can help. Yeah, I start like this, but not because I really, tennis was something that's there, And in the beginning, I don't enjoy, I don't like, because it was too much Porsche for me, my mentality was more like a basketball. And a little, I enter in love with tennis. When I understand tennis for the education, I think there are not a lot of sports so useful, because it's individual, but you work in group. I have all the conditions for be the perfect way for teach the guy about life, And then I'm very lucky because I go to Mallorca, and Mallorca is coming one guy that's 5 years old, this Carlos Moya. I say he's all the time hitting the ball in the wall. I'm tired, can't practice with it, but he's too young. But he play good. He says, okay, come. and it was Carlos Moya. Finally, because I was there. Then I go to the Spanish Federation after so many adventures, and I work with the Spanish Federation. But I'm a little, no, I'm little. I want to feel free, you know. In the Spanish Federation, give me a lot of freedom, but I want to be more free. I come back to Mallorca, or the government of Mallorca offered me to organize one center. And when I come back, Nadal was there. You know, if I don't come back, I never touch Nadal. Everything is a casualty. You know, really the only thing that I do is not break the future of my players. But I'm very lucky that the work that I was in the right place in the right moment.
That's unbelievable. So you met Carlos Moya when he was 5 years old?
Yeah, very, very young. He was. When I arrived, the family of Moya helped me so much because in the beginning in Mallorca, I was very young, 22 years. I was married and was hard, you know, because the club that I go have a close because the economy. Yeah, I need to look in another club. Was not an easy time, and the Moya's family helped me so much, like a family. I'm very lucky.
So you know, it's funny because you're here on the call. You have so many people, over 100 people who are tennis kind of enthusiasts. So you've developed a very unique style. I mean, your own way of looking at tennis, and the results show. So, you know, do you want to talk a little bit about, I mean, how you looked at the game and how you made things different? I mean, you really, you know, you kind of changed the perception. You know, I know even when I was playing when I was young, there was this thing, laterality, and, you know, how to sort of visualize things in a certain way. I mean, this is all things that kind of you help create. That how did you create? So firstly, with ICL, we talk about taking your passion and making it your purpose. So when did you kind of know, okay, I'm passionate about tennis, you know, I like this sport, but when did it become your purpose and that difference?
In my time, I'm not young. There are not a lot of knowledge. You know, the people combined, they are, especially in Spain, we have good conditions, but we don't have good knowledge. You know, we really believe, because we are so arrogant, but tennis coaches, we are so arrogant that we believe we are so important, and we control the future of our kids, etc., etc. But really, in the beginning, I tell always that Moya was the number one, not because me, because I learned with him. You know, it's not. We put a lot of passion. We fight so much or whatever, but I don't have a lot of knowledge. With Nadal was different because I'm very lucky because I met one time in one tournament was Paul Dorochenko was working with Moya. We worked together a couple of weeks with Moya. And he passed me a lot of knowledge. And with this about the laterality, about the variability, these kind of things. And I start to build my own project, no, that with these kind of things, I try to make like a puzzle, you know, the build of that. And it's changing all the time. It's alive, you know. The people is the system. I don't know if it's a system, because one system is something is fixed more or less. How we work is very variable. You know, it's a we can change in a couple of weeks. We can change how we understand the backswing of the forehand. You know, we like to investigate, enjoy. You know, like change is good even when you are not right. You know, because finally to learn to change and come back is not bad for the mind.
Sure, it reinforces, right? I mean, I think that there's so much, you know, what people don't understand. I mean, tennis is like a game of questions and answers, and how you make, you know, decisions. When you were working younger, you said, you know, in Barcelona, you love basketball. You know, there's such amazing athletes that come out, but obviously football is a huge part. You hear about football, you know, being a passion for Rafa and, you know, his uncle and probably Carlos and everything. I mean, do you integrate other sports? You know, like how did you separate when you were young, working with a young Carlos and seeing him grow? Are there certain things now that you look back that, you know, when you recognize in a player, obviously there are a lot of special players, a lot of talent. What do you think if you could sort of pinpoint what made, not only those people special, but how do you look at players now? And because the mental side is so important, the physical, mental, emotional, you list it all. Can you share what you kind of look at, or what you saw that was special with those two, or what you look at now?
What we believe, or I believe that is more important, because it's difficult to find, is everything is, you can work everything. I don't believe in the talents clause that one is okay for something or not. Obviously, the people have more condition and people less condition. But what I really I want is first, be brave. I want brave people. First, because the brave people is happy. We need to make brave players, brave persons, because the neuroscience tell that the unhappiness is the fear. Obviously, the happiness is be brave. And the people is brave. He make a lot of things. This one help a lot for the kind of work that we want to do. Second one is the tactical intelligence. When the people understand the situations for answer. I think there are two type of players or two type of coaches. There are coaches that tell the player what he needs to do all the time. Is not how we work. We try to make the opposite. That make what you think you need to do, and when you make mistakes, I will make the correction. We lose matches, obviously, because that, but I think is a fantastic prize. You think in the future, we want independent players. We need to allow to take bad decisions in one moment. Take decisions is sometimes one of them can be bad. It's the type of work that is the two things, because obviously physically we can change a lot, and you are short, you cannot make nothing. You need to reorganize the pattern of game, etc. But you cannot make a lot in this kind of thing. But about the fear, about the intelligence, the tactical intelligence, I think is one of the things we can work a lot, help a lot.
It's so interesting that you say this. You use the word brave, and I think that so much in tennis, when we're with young people now, and I say it all the time, you probably do too. There are a lot of people on this call, and a lot of people in ICL Academy who are top ranked, number one in the US, or top, and there's almost a fear. Whereas being brave, and you look at the two examples of Carlos Moya and Rafa, I mean, talk about gladiators, about bravery, about going for it. We say GFI, go for it. Is there something there? There's sort of a mystique about the clay court training, or a Spanish style. And I'm going to step back and say, if most of our students are in the US, you learn to play on hard court. There's a very specific game, right? It's sort of big, end the point in the third or fourth shot. We hear about it for a long time. Why are there no great champions in the US? And then some people say, well, you got to learn how to play on the dirt. You got to learn how to be tactical. Do you see some benefits, or what is your philosophy on obviously you helped create the greatest clay court player that's ever lived and probably ever will be?
We really believe we're Spanish. We are, the clay is like a religion. It's but we really believe that the clay, it's proof. The statistics tell that. The people starting clay normally, in the end, they play good in hardcore. The people play good in hardcore is more difficult to play in clay. When I was in Brazil, I made a conference, and one of the questions was, every year there are less tournaments in clay. What do you think about the Spain or your obsession in the tennis courts, the clay tennis courts? You say, even there are no one tournament in clay, I think for teach the kids, clay help a lot, because the ball is slow, the beautiful technique is not enough. You need to think a lot how you play. You need to have passion. You need to think. You need to make a fantastic footwork, because you don't have footwork, the ball don't go. These kind of things I think help. Obviously, we can mix in the same time both type of courts. Will be fantastic, But I think that Spain don't have every academy work different, believe me, but absolutely different, even in the hours on court, But what is common in every single one is there are not a lot of overprotection. This one I think is one of the things that help a lot. Second one, We have a really good competition calendar. And the third one is that, no, that we play a lot in clay and help in this way. I think it's the only conditions different than other countries, that they have more money or more whatever, and don't get some good tennis players like Spain.
Which is amazing. I think that there's probably a little bit more secrets to it. We have so many questions flooding in. I think I'll probably end up just shutting up and letting people ask a lot of the questions. But the biggest thing for me is, look, there's a mindset, right? And that mindset with players you've worked with is pretty unique. I mean, I think in the world, if we talk about Rafa, and Carlos was, similar, number one in the world, but with Rafa, that every point has a purpose, right? Every single ball is its own lifetime, that he has. And I think that some of our students, I know I was with them watching Rafa practice. And when sometimes practice is even more important to watch the match. And that just there, in my lifetime, I've never seen anyone as focused that's there, that to never give up. We were there with some of our students. I was watching, Sebastian
Maybe
Porta.
David Ferrer, no? David Ferrer is a little like this, no?
Very much
this kind
like
of players. Yeah.
Very much. I mean, every ferocity, every point, every single thing, and then you miss, it's on to the next one, and that focus. Is there any secret, and you've been there in it, like, how do we instill that? How can we bottle it? How can we teach that?
It's this work, I think, big percentage, but big huge percentage of this mentality is the family. So Tony make a fantastic work. When they come to work in Palma, they live 40 kilometers from Palma. If they come with the car together, they speak about the effort, effort. I think when one player like Rafa, effort is not a sacrifice. They enjoy the effort. When we get that and understand the kids that effort is funny, run is funny, fight is funny, it's not a sacrifice. No, it's not a sacrifice, because it's what I like. When you get that, you beat the biggest battle of this story. No? And I think in the family, this one is so clear for them. Plus another thing, nothing is important. One of the sentences that I like to say is, everything is important, but nothing is so important. Nadal, for example, in the first Roland Garros, he need to go on Nadal, he make a joke, one guy with the net, one French of Nadal, he fall down and he had problems in the wrist, he cannot go to Roland Garros. It was not drama. That's a matter next year. Never is a drama. It's a part of the story. We don't make nothing special for extraordinary. We just play tennis and try to adapt the moments. Nadal go very fast, but we don't make dramas. No, just play.
I mean, this is so big what you're saying. I don't know if you even, again, going to all the junior tennis tournaments in the US, just these key things, right? It's fun. It's not sacrifice. Effort is fun. Like, the work is fun, make it fun. There's something magical about that. And I think, for everyone here, all of our students, coaches, that it used to be, there's a mentality, you have to suffer, you have to sacrifice. Well, if you can change the narrative, what I'm hearing you say is, you make it fun. The effort is the battle. It's like you kind of love it. I mean, it's almost as if, and I was watching the match with some of our students and with Tommy Haas, and Sebastian Corda was literally serving like the match was done. And he got with the crowd, and Rafa turned around. You saw that little look, and Tommy said, Rafa's still going to win. Like, this is when the champions rise. This is that look. It's that, no. We're not done. You didn't win the match. This is everything. And so that mentality of not getting down on yourself, and that there's no drama, like you said, that it's not so important, right? Because in the lifetime, when you're 15 years old, every tournament is so important. It's life or death. And in some ways you learn that, like, wow, there's so much on the line. But what you're saying is really, it's the journey, it's the process, it's the effort, it's the fun, and the results will come. I mean, it's unbelievable.
One thing that I think is fantastic with both, with Moya and Nadal, when the people come and say, what ranking is Rafa? I say, I don't know. 13, 14, really big. I don't know, really don't know. The ranking was not fantastic. because really the people is so worried about the rankings, the stories, material things, because this one, that they forget that the only thing important is play good tennis. You play good tennis, you will get a good ranking. You are obsessed in the ranking, maybe you don't get the good tennis, is a bad business for the future. You know, we need to enjoy to play tennis. We need to learn to play tennis. We need to increase our capacities in tennis. And the consequences win matches, the consequences get a good ranking. But we cannot be focused in the ranking because we forget the base, the important things of this sport.
I mean, it's so well said. If you can change a mindset, if I could go back and be 15, I would not worry about ranking. So everyone that's listening here, and we talk about it, it's so true. I mean, you know, you have to look ahead, whether it's pros, college, you want to be the best tennis player you can be. And by giving that effort, having the fun, it's super inspiring. I don't want to take too much time. I want to bring some people up. So, Caitlin, do you want to bring up, we have a lot of questions. People are really, really interested. So I will kind of turn it over now. I think that we're going to go, we're going to bring, look at that. I know these. Good to see you, Mikhail. Do you want to come on and ask a question directly to Jofre? Good to see you. It looks like you're in a spaceship or an F1 race car.
Hi, Jofre. I don't know if you remember me. It's Mika. I came to your academy in October.
I remember you perfectly.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. Nice to be here with speaking about tennis. I love to speak about tennis.
That was one of the best experiences of my life coming to your academy. It was so fun and I loved all the hard work.
It's hard, I know. The people love the hard work. It's a perfect place. The people don't like, you know, when you arrive, they always welcome to the hell because it's really important. It's like I will put you in the extreme situation, no? But you like how we work, or you love, or you hate. They are not middle. They are not gray colors.
Yeah. My question is that in Florida, there's a lot of rain delays in matches, and I see that a lot of people can like get maybe like it like makes their game a little worse, or they like lose their focus, but Nadal never loses his focus when after a rain delay. What is like one thing that you can do to stay focused and energized during the rain delay?
First is no big worry. So there one sentence that we love is you must be care but not be worried. Big worry is really stupid and big care is really, really good. You know, when you start to be worried, you lose the concentration for sure. You say, how I can be no worry in the match? We believe that there are three types of communication with yourself for convince you in the good way. The first one is the breathe. You can breathe. You want to be more excited. You can make, or you want to be more relaxed. You can speak consciously to you how you want to be. Second one is the interior dialogue. You can think what you want to do. No exterior, interior dialogue. We believe in the interior one. And the third one, it may be the more important, the body language. You know, the body language is working fantastic. If the body language is the beginning for the change, is the body language. How you see it, how you smile, whatever you do is building your character for the future. We need to understand that we modulate our character with the body language. On court, out of court. You know, people think a lot on court, but out of court we can make a lot of work that will help in the tennis court. Obviously, then is carry on, perseverance. You know, we need to work in that and be convinced and carry on, because it's not a magic tablet that you take. And now I will be concentrated. Nadal is very, very concentrated in everything that he do, because he's working in everything that he make in life. He's playing soccer. He's very concentrated. He's whatever, you know. He's really, really, really concentrated in everything.
Thank you so much.
Great question. And because it is the rain delays, you know, so much on the mental side, you can psych yourself out. So staying that positive, that's amazing. All right, we have another question here from Kenny. Kenny, do you want to come up and ask your question? So we have some students, some coaches, some fans, some players. Kenny, if your microphone is off or if you want to come on, go ahead and ask the question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Surely I think we can all recognize that Nadal has a very unique style. But to develop a player, some player has their own preference. But do you want to develop a player according to their own potential or preference, or according to the evolution of the modern tennis game?
Oh, interesting
Sorry, I
question.
don't listen. I
So I think what he's asking is, do you develop a player based on their individual, when you look at them, their own unique style, or kind of a formula for what is sort of in now, right now? Kenny, is that sort of the best way to
when
say?
you speak about Nadal, the people say, yeah, but Nadal is Nadal, no? Because Nadal, they are only one. Yeah, you cannot use Nadal like it. I think nobody must use nobody.
You can't teach like that.
Because it's we practice at this shot, but it's another story. But what I want to say is, we cannot use Nadal like full Nadal, no full equipe Nadal, but we can use part of the Nadal for teach our kids. Obviously, we try to make individual, even the technical, depend of your dominant eye, or there are so many things that you need to adapt the technical, the biomechanics to that. But one of the things that we work with him that is fantastic is one sentence of Einstein, that he say, I don't teach my students, I prepare the conditions when they learn, where they learn. I think it's a fantastic idea, because when you make that, obviously everybody doesn't increase his capacities in the way that they feel comfortable, or they need, more than for comfort, they need. For that, we really put how we work, or how we believe is put problems in the court, the outside of the court, and you need to fight with these problems. It's not make that, it's not, this is the problem, what you will do. No? If you don't find the solution, then I tell you, and maybe you can look at that, etc., etc. But the first is always you try, and if you fail, don't worry, I'm here with you. But the first, you must try it for your own way. No. I tell the other one kid that was a little disappointed with himself, because say you need to understand one thing. There are coaches, parents, families that try to take off of the wave, the rocks of the wave, because like this your way will be easier. We not only don't take off the rocks, we put rocks in your wave, because we believe that is the way for go far. No, and this kind of work help for individualize the work of the kids, because you can see how they go. You just arrange the situation or help in the situation, but you don't have a product. Every forehand is different, every backhand is different. The mentality there for this kind of thing cannot be different. It's the only thing that I really believe that the people need to be tough, hard worker, these kind of things. Everybody must be similar, or in similar way.
So the certain non-negotiables, things can be changed and tweaked, but you're not trying to alleviate the obstacles. You want to put more obstacles in front to be able to overcome. I think there's just such a unique difference in the way even you're talking, similarly to create champions. There's not in one sense, there's no direct answer, but there actually is a formula, and that formula is hard work. Like there's certain things that you cannot
absolutely
get over, but it seems like in Spain, you guys do it with a smile on your face. When you go to other parts in Europe, it's like much more grueling and aggressive. I mean, you're always smiling. Even Rafa, when he snarls, he's kind of smiling, and it's Carlos is smiling. So maybe it's a Spanish secret. The harder it is, the more fun you're having.
In the body language, the smile down the cortisol, and down the cortisol is the hormone of the stress. You can don't only smiling, you can reduce the cortisol. Big smile is a fantastic medicine for the stress or for the unconcentration that we spoke before.
That is such a wonderful thing. Will Selmer, do you want to come up smiling for us? You want to come up smiling and ask your question? Let's see if we can bring up. By the way, thank you, Kenny, for your question. All right. let's see Will here.
Hi. My question was, how many hours a day did Rafa train as like a teenager? And then also, like, how many days off a week did he take?
Hi, Will. Uh, uh, I'm sorry, but I make a question to your question, or I don't make the answer too much fixed, you know. I think it's more important the intensity of the work than the volume of the work. With Nadal, we don't work a lot of hours, but the intensity was very, very high. There are players that are not so intense, maybe they need to work more hours, you know. With Nadal, one is a teenager, we work more or less physical condition 1 hour, and when he's teenager means before be professional, because we need to remember that Nadal was 15 years old. He beat 5 features, you know, was his teenager time in tennis was very short. But we work no more than 2.5 hours per day tennis and 1 hour physical work. Then in the weekend with Tony makes extra work, etc., etc. But it was not especially long, big volume. It's more the intensity of the work and the concentration of the work and the quality of the work.
That makes a lot of sense. So is there anything you think, I guess, to follow up on that? Because, you know, people ask about Nadal or Carlos, but players are different, right? So at your academy, I mean, is there a certain schedule you think, you know, kids are growing, so do you take into account sort of do you look at different players for how much time on court or off court or anything? Do you kind of look at that or have a system for that?
In Spain, you know, there are so many academies work a lot of hours, you know. Sometimes it's coming one guy, I don't want to speak bad about it, nobody, but sometimes come one guy and say, but only 3 hours, because we work normally 3 hours, you know. Only 3 hours, say, you tell me in the dinner time, you know. And so many times they cannot, you know, because the intensity, when we work, for example, the kids never sit, they don't sit in the bench, it's not allowed, because we believe that when they see disconnect, for that they are stand up all the time, they can drink whatever, but when they sit, disconnect. The people tell me, yeah, but in the match they sit, yeah, but in the match you are concentrated because you have a problem, but in the practice it's easy to sit and start to for example, another thing, we work only with one ball the rallies, because when you can make the test, you would give one guy the ball, you count the mistakes in 5 minutes, and then you give 3 balls, you count the mistakes. It's increased so much the mistakes. For the concentration, wow. Only one ball help a lot. Now, these kind of things make the work a lot of continuity. We never stop, you know, there are no one guy taking balls. We make exercises that everybody play all the time. And we try to make in short time a lot of work, because I think it's healthy for the.
I love that. Will, are you listening? One ball. You don't get more than one ball.
When it's broken, we change the ball, you know, but the ball die very fast, because obviously the ball is very hot and destroyed. But we work all the rallies with one ball. If people say, but you play one ball, the people will play softer. It's not true, because the guys would like to hit the ball. They're more concentrated, you know, that this ball in the beginning that they serve, we play in the net or play out, disappear, because you play in the net, you need to go to look in the ball. The people is really, really more concentrated. That
I love what you just said, the one ball. And I also love that someone complained 3 hours and you said, listen, and if you train hard for 3 hours, you're not going to be able to stay. It's
impossible. You know, the marathon men don't work so much, you know. It's
when I hit, and Will knows it, you know, when you hit with Tommy Haas in old age for 20 minutes, you're exhausted, you know, you're finished. Like if you're totally focused intensity. But thanks a lot for the question, Will. And Ryan, you're up next. Ryan, you have a question for Jofre. You're kind of frozen there, right? Can we take Ryan off of the microphone so we can get you asking the question? Looks like a beautiful day wherever you are. It's definitely not winter where you are. Oh, there's Mom. Hi, Mom.
They're in North Carolina.
All right, you're in North Carolina. That's a good spot. Shall we? Yeah, congratulations on the NCAA basketball. Now we can start talking basketball for a second. I don't know if we can, Caitlin, you maybe help with them to help them with their microphone off. It looks like they're still muted. Well, we can switch to talk basketball for a while. All right. Well, until we get that sorted, Maya, do you want to ask a quick question? We'll get back to Ryan in a second, or you can always type it. Maya, how are you? You're on.
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I
Looks like you're
Hi.
in a tournament right now. Looks like you're in some way. You're ready.
Oh
to
yeah.
compete.
I'm in like a tent. um, so my question was, there's a difference between passion and purpose, and how did you turn Rafa's passion for tennis into his purpose, and how what he was going to do with his life was going to be directed towards tennis? What was like that breaking moment that was like, this is what I'm going to do?
the purpose is how we work. Maybe I don't answer properly the question, but how we work, we don't have a objective, you know, short time, medium time, a long term, you know. We really believe that we have one dream is to be professionals, and then we work every day full for go to this dream. We don't think in 2 years I need to do that, in 3 years, you know. We have one purpose, is try to go to the limit. The limit must be a big dream. I think one of the problem of your generation is afraid to have big dreams, you know, because they can fail. No, it's the normal. When you're a kid, you like the big dreams. I want to be astronaut, I want to be soccer professional, tennis player professional, but a little sometimes doesn't happen. Normally it doesn't happen, but these dreams help us to go far, to build our own life. No, for this one, the purpose, the passion is how you make the things. No, the purpose is what you want. I understand that because my English is not so good. No, and the purpose is what you want to be. The passion is what you need for make that. The passion and the effort must be together, because a lot of people say I am very passionate, but the people don't make the effort forget the thing. Must be together. I have a friend, a coach, that he say effort is what the player do when nobody look at him. You know, when you are alone. You want to know what, because these kind of things show if you really like what you do. Sometimes we have players, you know, they say, I have a purpose, I want to be professional. Yeah, but you don't work hard enough for try to be that, or you are not concentrate, or you abandon in one match, don't fight till the end, you know, and these kind of things, that doesn't help. One thing that for us is really important is we must be competitive, even, you know, guys, when you play whatever, tennis, whatever sport, our objective, our purpose is play good. It's not true, because you cannot play good all matches that you play in your life. We see Nadal, Federer, these kind of players, Djokovic, that they play good a lot of matches, but the normal people, the number 50, number 100, they play so many bad matches, but they are competitive playing bad. You know, for that I tell the kids always that you need to fight even when you cannot win. You know, when you cannot win, fight the same, because it's when you learn. You know, for that, for me, I think in your generation, one of the things that you need to recover is fight because you like to fight, even when you cannot win, because I love to fight. A 6-1 is million times better than 6-0. A 6-2 is million times better than 6-1. Just fight, you know, everything that you get will be for the future. Obviously, this one needs really passion, because it's not, it will be impossible. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yeah, you answered it perfectly. Thank you.
You get an A on your grade for that. No, but it does help a lot. You know, I think there's a lot of pressure for the juniors, you know, in balancing everything. So, you know, I'm going to throw in a little bit before Ryan is now out of the car. North Carolina, it's still looking beautiful over there. You know, combining, because in life it's everything, right? There's tennis is life, but there's also academics. There's also, you know, community, social, like how you pick. You know, we are a community at ICL of not just, you know, mostly tennis players with the same passion and purpose, and we're integrating education, because how you train your mind, you can apply tennis skills into business, into life, into being a doctor. So how do you see that balance sort of between the the school side, the physical, mental, emotional, academic portion of it?
Look at that. Our academy, we have obsession. They are not allowed no study. Doesn't matter if they are younger or everybody must study. For me, they must study till you die. It's not a problem that the time that you need to learn for not, because study make you more happy. When you know more things, you are more happy. We believe that the studies help tennis and the tennis help the studies. Obviously there are one, I don't know in English, but in Spanish is BDNF is one protein that when you make a sport doesn't envelop. When you make that, it is protein help for the concentration, for understanding. Sport is proof, the neuroscience is proof that a sport, when you make effort, you make make a sport, you increase your academic possibilities. It is one is not it's not my opinion. It's real. It's proof. For that, we need to understand all the things that happen in tennis, or not only in tennis, obviously, but effort, discipline. It's not the same effort or discipline. The discipline is plain, and the effort is irregular. We believe a lot in the effort, in the discipline too, but the effort is very, very important for us. Concentration, creativity, so many things that will help for the studies, and the studies give you the concentration, etc., that's going to tennis. I think they are not border. It's the same thing again. When you look at that, we have one school that we work, and every evaluation, the director of the school comes with a report. I put a report of tennis, he put the report of the school, and we compare one with the other one. And it's more or less the same. We're in the right way. When the tennis is fantastic and the school is not good, you are lazy. When the school is fantastic and the tennis is not good enough, means something like pressure or something. We need to look in what happened here, because it's not normal, right? For us, the valorization of both things together is so important.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, that's what we believe in. A lot of the people here, we're building great character, great human beings, and through sport, through effort. So Ryan, do you want to come and ask your question to Jofre?
Yes, thank you so much. Sorry about my audio. We're out of the car now. So I was wondering, what kind of self-talk does Nadal have, do you think, in tough matches? Is he his own cheerleader, or is he like trying to work through problems? What do you think is going through his mind?
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I don't understand. Try again, please.
So the question really is, in tough times, what goes on in Rafa's head? Is he positive reinforcement? Sometimes people are like down on themselves or to motivate them. So really your question is what is his inner voice? If you can get in there, what is his inner voice telling him when it's either, when he's down or in between, when he's rubbing his face at the towel? Is he positive, negative? What's kind of in his head?
I think the education of Rafa is so amazing, tennis education or sport education, that he don't understand no fight. He need to fight because because he don't understand life different. One time after one big injury, one reporter asked me, it's amazing, no? After so big in a so long time, stop because the knee, and now in so little time is play. Say, I don't think it's amazing. For another person maybe yeah, but for Nadal, I don't want to be rude with Nadal, obviously, but for Nadal it's not difficult because he understands life like this. He don't think if I can go or I cannot go. He go. He fight for definition. It's not. He don't know how not. I tell you one example. He go to Peking to play one tournament, and who was very tired, and we say, calm down. You don't feel good. Don't. You can retire it if you want. Say, because your health is important. It's coming good, important tournaments, etc., etc. I say, right. I think about it. He go to Peking. In the first match, he win because when he's come back, he tell us that was not good enough. It's embarrassing to lose. The second one is a Spanish player that he don't want to lose with a Spanish player. He said the third one in quarterfinal. I think why in quarterfinal? Why no carry on? and then play the final, he win the tournament. You understand? We think or we tried that he calm down, but he don't understand life. Now we start to understand a little calm down because he's not so young. Finally, you need to recover. You need to take care about your health. Even you see now that Nadal go very slow and he get warnings because go very slow and he bounce the ball. Nadal, when I was young, we put 3 balls because go so fast to every place that don't have time to recover. It's so passionate that if we start to make the work for make count down the middle times, and in the end, now maybe too much, no? But it was like this.
I love it. That's. I mean, he's definitely a beast. But I guess, do you teach something for other players? You know, because different people are motivated in their head. That inner voice is really, really important. I think so. You know, is there something that you suggest people have? You know, besides fight. I mean, we can hear it in your voice, right? I mean, fight, keep fighting, keep giving the effort always.
I think maybe somebody is not agree with me, but I think when you get the environment with all the players, all your players, you give values, not the results. It's not to the fights. When the people live like this, start to change his mind. You want to start to change his mind. Individual is not easier, but when you have a group of players, you convince everyone that fight, you congratulate the fight, not the results, and you start to change the important things in your life, you start to change this one. Obviously, with a mental coach or whatever, you can make faster or more hard this, but it's very important, the atmosphere of work, understand the important thing is the effort. The result will come. It's not a problem. Don't worry for the result. Will come.
I love that. Will, you were lined up next. Speaking of fighting, I've seen Will in some battles recently, pulling out some big wins. So Will, go ask your question to Jofre, and yeah, keep it going.
I have a question. So how big was endurance like in Rafa's training? And what's your favorite like endurance drill?
Rafa doesn't have endurance. He's never played a long match, I don't think. I think usually Rafa matches are like 25 minutes, but
he doesn't understand the short matches. I said Rafa can serve, and now it's serving better, but one was serving so bad. It's because he understands tennis is play, you know. He don't enjoy the aces, you know. They don't look him because really, I think his mentality is like this. About the endurance, we don't make special things. We believe a lot that the technical part is physical part, and the physical part is technical part. Yeah, obviously, everything is mental. No, if you work your technical tactical work, full effort, your physical condition increase a lot of more because it's in the real way. In our academy, for example, we don't make endurance like running or footing or whatever like this, but we believe that the interval of the work, the technical work is intervallic. It helps a lot for the endurance, and for that we don't make a special work for that. We work really hard. You know, the recuperation is not extremely big recuperation. We believe that the body need to learn to recover faster. And with that, normally we have a really good results in endurance. Not making one specific work like go to run or bicycle, or whatever like this, or go to swim. You know, it's the how you work the tennis in the tennis court. Your physical condition will be increased a lot more. That, or we believe that a lot more. Physical work, the 70% of physical work that we make is for the protection of the injuries, and speed, a lot of coordination and speed. But the aerobic resistance, anaerobic resistance, we try to make big percentage, not everything, but big percentage on court.
So for the anaerobic rest, so training. I mean, look, I think we could talk for hours about, because obviously there's never been someone. I've had a direct conversation with Novak, and I said, you know, what is the hardest thing you've ever done in your life? And he said, playing Rafa in the finals of the Australian Open. He said, I won. He said, I couldn't stand. He said he was getting IVs for 48 hours. Like he literally couldn't get out of bed for like 4 or 5 days after one tennis match. I have a weird feeling that Rafa was like training the next day. So I think there's something very unique in that. But you know, that endurance question, I mean, it is like tennis is such a physical sport, but I love that you said now it's not even recover, it's sort of pre-recovery to recovery. You know, how do you plan? Because all these kids here, are young, right? I think, Will, when I met you, I think you've grown like 7 inches since I've known you. So everyone sort of goes through, in a childhood, the growth spurts, you get stronger. People are like, oh my God, Rafa just put on all this muscle. It's like, yeah, because you saw him when he was 17, he's now 23, you work to put on. So I think today, like you said, there's all the elements that go into it, but is there, to Will's point for endurance, anything specifically, if people can't make it to Mallorca, something that you focus on that these players can think about with that endurance? Because you start to get tired, right? I mean, at the end of the day, matches, like you get gassed, you get winded. What are the things that you think keep that going? Because it's a tough thing.
I really believe. I was one time, I make a conference. There one guy that make ultra marathons in the mountain. Was one small guy, Mario King is the world champion, and amazing person, really funny, so humble. And he tell me, Jofre, the people don't understand how I do. Don't understand that I, after run 3 or 4 hours in the mountain, I come back, I cannot hang my sons because I have so much pain in my body. If my sons come and hang me slowly, say, please, come on. It's so nice. This feeling is so nice for me. The people understand I enjoy this run. Obviously, we are not so extreme because we need to play tomorrow, But when we practice, we need to suffer, suffer physically, not mentally, because it's the only way to increase our capacity for be competitive. The people want to be competitive but don't want to suffer. It's not sense. Again, the same, understand suffer, enjoy suffer. No, it's not a problem. It's not a sacrifice. But we need to suffer. We need to go after practice, destroy it. We need to get some little injuries. Everything, all these kind of things is part of tennis. If the people don't want to play with that, right, it will be a fantastic amateur or can play with friends or whatever, but don't try to be professional without suffer.
Without suffer, you're going to suffer, so suffer and enjoy it. Well, thank you so much, and thanks, Will, for that, and keep up the work. Charlie, I have a question, and Sarah, we'll start. I know I hate the time goes so fast. We'll start speed dating a little bit.
My question was, obviously Rafa is very strong in both sides, like mentally and physically. What things do you think you focused on the most with him that kind of separated himself from other players?
I think one the more important is a little. I go always to the same place. One of the things that Nadal do is never surrender. You can see never surrender. He understand fight is part of the fight. Or the fight in tennis is important part of his soul. He need to understand life like this. For that, we are really focused in really never surrender. Work very hard, because the other thing is coming. I will tell you one thing. When you increase your physical conditions, you increase your tennis. When you increase your biomechanics or technica, you add. But when the attitude, what do you speak about? Multiply, because affect to everything, affect to the physical, affect to the technical. For this one, the attitude is what we need to work more. Normally, I have a friend, he's a coach, he tells that I am a fighter with the laziness of my players. I think it's funny because it's true. The human race is lazy because we want to live, okay, we need to fight with this laziness. Our coaches can help us, but the education that gives you our parents, the school, and my own education, okay, finally is really, really important. We need to have the attitude to accept the challenge, never surrender. I think it's the more important. The other thing, I think it's not so difficult, believe me. The people say the technique is very difficult. I don't know one player is brave. I know players that they are not brave if they don't want to change. But the people is brave, change the technique. If they change the technique, they increase his capacity for sure. No, for that, I think the more important is be brave and never surrender. Go together, those things.
Never surrender, be brave, and we'll get a lot more. I can't wait to do an ICL field trip to Mallorca. Sarah, do you want to come in?
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie. Thanks a lot, Charlie. Sarah, do you want to ask your question?
Sure. So my question was kind of like Charlie's, but it was like, what do you do to help Rafael Nadal like never surrender? Like, are there any mental things that you have to help him with? Because that would be really helpful.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask the question separate from Nadal, because as we talk, Nadal is like a Nadal, like, how about, at your academy, like all the great, players, when you're helping a young junior to do that, because it seems like Nadal is one of but are there things, right, specifically that you can help teach people? That's why it goes back, the inner voice, the never surrender, the fight. Is there something that you focus on at your academy with young players?
I think there are things that help a lot. I don't think in big stories. I think in the small details that make a big story. For example, don't tell your player that you are fantastic every single time, because doesn't help. I think another thing that we would not make the same is the final is the same, but some ones work better. But is we need to play tennis. In our academy, there are no one picture of Nadal, there are no one picture of Moya, there are no picture of me, there are no one trophy, because we don't believe. I think the trophies is the past. I think one of the problems, the first problem that have a player is when the family buy a shelf or put the trophies, because the trophies the doesn't help. It's the past. When it's like anchorage. You cannot progress. You think too much in the trophies that you get. For that, we need to forget that. When you understand that you play because you want to play, because you enjoy to play, because you enjoy to compete, obviously the atmosphere of work for me is essential. It's impossible to work hard. Is the group of players that you have don't work hard. I think one of the more that we get, it was noticed in the beginning, is that we have players that they understand work hard is important. You understand the punishment. I know that punishment in some countries looks so bad, but I don't want to change the name and say consequences, because finally is there are consequences. For example, if I don't go one ball bounce to time, this one cannot happen something, because it's not right. You need to go to touch the net, or you need to make one lap around the net. They say the people is punishment. If one father, this one is funny. One father come to me, tell me, you punish a lot my son. I say, why? I don't punish one time. He say, yeah, he make 10 laps. I say, no, I don't punish. He say, I tell you play, because I play a lot of time the ball in the net. They say, you play in the net, you need to make one lap to the net. Your son punished himself because he played 10 times the ball to the net in a row. It's not a punishment. It's attention. That we need to enjoy. If you want to tell punish, you want to change the name, whatever. But we need to enjoy this kind of thing, because put our life in order, push us to look in more better things. We need to understand that this kind of things never is personal. It's forget the environment of hard work, and we work a little like this. A lot of people don't understand, but finally it's working because we will get something.
I love that. So we are at our time, but if we could do a couple questions, for you right now, just, we have so many like filmed out questions that maybe we can try to go very fast. I'm so sorry that we can't get to everybody, but I'm going to kind of ask you, and we'll do short questions that are like kind of yes, no. Do you think Spanish training is more or less focused now on developing, a net attacking game now? We're seeing a difference, right? Nadal is probably one of the greatest volleyers. You see more, even Alcaraz starting. Do you think there's a changing of the styles a little bit now?
I think one of the good things, that type of word that we spoke, is that you adapt to what you need in every moment. Now you cannot play 6 meters out of the court playing high, like the times of maybe 20 years ago. Now the Spanish get good results just playing so many balls inside of the court. You can see that Nadal is fighting a lot, but is not playing lobs, or Alcaraz now that is playing hard every single ball. We need to adapt what is necessary. It's not one style, is adapt what is necessary for try to be competitive. It's just that.
That's adapting is key. And there's a lot of the questions are kind of similar. We talked about, there's one here about how do you separate passion from obsession in the game, being passionate, but without obsession, and
for me, it's very simple. You enjoy or you don't enjoy. When you're obsessed, you are sad. When you are passionate, you are happy. Obviously, when you lose a match, you are never happy, but cannot be long unhappiness, But the people is passionate, is happy. You can see in his face that he's enjoying the things. When he's obsessed, start to be unhappy. There one line that is not clear, but you see the reaction in maybe not in one day, but in a little time, you can see one side to the other side.
Yeah, I mean, you covered a lot of ground. A lot of the questions, how do you gain confidence in tournaments? I think you answer that with effort, never giving up and not having that fear, right? Like making it fun.
For me, you get it's easy. You are fair because you are afraid to lose. Mm-hmm. If we don't lose, because you lose when you put the result in the high of the pyramid. Okay. When you put the work that I do, the work that it's finished. You never will be. The confidence is coming because you can control your work. What you cannot control is the results, because maybe the other is better, or I have a bad day. But my work I can control. I put in the thermometer must be about the work that I do, not about the results that I get.
It's interesting in looking at Tracy's question. Similarly, to see the passion for a great game, or the passion for life, for love. You talk about sacrifice. Some of the great people think, oh, Nadal is robotic or anything. But I think when you get to meet Carlos or Rafa and these people, there is a passion for life and for love and for more than just the game of tennis. Would you agree?
You be with them, near of them, with them. They enjoy. They play when we are in the tournaments. They enjoy all the time. They play in soccer. They play in whatever. It's never. They're not. The people think that there must be concentrate. No. They need to enjoy. There are moments for everything. A lot of people think you are not focused all the time. No. It's not like this. You need to. You need to be fresh. I think these kind of things. The Spanish, especially the Spanish players and the South American. They're fantastic in that because they really enjoy the trips. It's not a sacrifice because they really enjoy the trips.
Yeah, absolutely. And then look, the couple. So basically, a lot of the other ones are asking specific players about, how, like tournament scheduling. Do you believe in like lots of matches? Keep playing like tons of matches, or do you have a sort of specific thing, which is, some coaches, it's like tournaments. You have Richard Williams who says, don't play a junior tournament,
Well, I think always in the balance is the good way. But I think tournaments, for example, when we work in the weekend, we have weekend tournaments. And for us, it's like a practice, a tactical practice. You understand? We don't work like a tournament. I think there are no better tactical practice than one match. And we play matches. I try to convince my players that we play matches. We don't play tournaments. For that, there are tournaments like the local ones that we use like a practice. We can try things, etc. Then we go outside of the island or on Europe, or even this year we go to Africa, and we're looking something more. Not this one. For this one, we need to go ready. I'm a little tired of the discussion with kids. No, I feel good. They say, but 2 days ago you cannot play because you were injured. In 2 days you cannot be ready for play the tournament. You are physically ready, but you are not ready for play the tournament. So you will go there, you lose, you will get unconfidence, etc. You are not a professional now. That I need to go to Roland Garros because the points, because the money, etc. No, we speak about play tennis. And finally, There are different types of players again. There are players like Nadal that when he's in tournaments, you saw Nadal that he changed the grip in the middle of one tournament. He started with one grip, finished with another one. The players that there are so many weeks outside of home, they need to practice in the tournaments. But there are players, that youngest one, that need to practice at home. We need to manage both things. There are players that dirty his tennis when they go to the tournaments and clean their own tennis when they come back. I think this idea, in some players you can do, but normally we need to develop our players in the tournaments too. Absolutely, we don't need to play a lot of tournaments. For me, absolutely. We need to reorganize our life, but the tournament that we play must be really, really important. When we play, we go full, because sometimes they play so much tournaments that they don't mind, because the next week I play another one. This is not a good thing.
That's a great one. There are a couple quick ones too about different cross training. What do you like your athletes to do outside of tennis? Obviously, you passionate about basketball. A lot of the players play soccer. Do you have sort of a favorite thing that you suggest players do besides tennis?
I think that there are different sports help a lot to our sport. For example, soccer, I think help a lot because the distance is the footwork, etc., especially for the girls that sometimes we have problems. Soccer, we'll use the soccer for increase that. Obviously, the baseball for the surf is. We have one guy this from Dominican Republic was not professional but play very good. We use this guy for make some movements and for the surf. And basketball, I think the football or the basketball is really, really, really good. We try to make a sports that tactical sports. We don't go to bicycle. I think we can go for fun, but I think don't have big consequences to our tennis because it's not tactical. No, I think we need to take decision all the time. This kind of sport help a lot. And we don't have so much time for make so many things. One day is coming one fast. He showed me her young daughter making claquet, dancing, making noise in the floor.
Okay.
And he told me, the one is good. He said, of course it's good. I'm not stupid, of course, but I don't have 60 hours per day for play tennis. We need to choose what I think is more efficient. If for our players, we work a lot in the nature in front of the academy. There are one big park, and there are some hills, and we work a lot there because I think it's good and it's fresh. It's for the mind, for the physical, for the cross.
I love that. And I guess the last two questions here, Noel asked, which I think you answered already, that we both worked with high level players. What do you do to encourage, and empower players who are afraid of success or afraid of failure? And I think you've talked about it already, but the effort, the fun, but
one especially the teenagers, the teenagers, they think that all the eyes in the world is behind his neck. One of the things that we need to teach that nothing is important. It's you. There one is relativization about everything. Even when you win one ITF under 18, don't affect to your life. In 6 months, this special tournament don't affect to your life. Not be worried because it's not so important. And be care because it's important, but not be worried because it's not so important. I think when the people, the human mind is sometimes a lot of times make mistakes. One of the mistakes is be worried for things that never will be a problem. And when we think that the victory can change my life, start to be afraid about the victory or when you lose, I can be a disaster. I cannot recover. I think we need to make relative the thinking, because like this we get people in balance. Finally, balance is the solution for 90% of the things that we make in life. Oops, I lose you.
I know my microphone was off.
Yeah.
I think if you think about the poem If, and they say triumph and failure, if you can treat those two imposters just the same. So really in the question, I think we both agree they're the same thing. The fear of success or failure, it's exactly the same, and you treat them the same way.
If you success in one, you success in the other one. I am absolutely sure. When you there one psychology is the cognitive psychology, is the psychology of thinking, you know, and speak about this. No, when we, for example, I'm afraid to the spiders. You know, no sense in Spain, no sense. They are not. Maybe in Australia, but in Spain is no sense. When I get the solution for this fear, I don't get a solution for only for this fear. I get a solution for I'm scared to fly, or I'm scared. You know, I fight with every single one. Here is a little the same. When you get one solution for one thing, it's not only for that. It's for a lot of things similar, no? And fail and success are so close. What you tell them.
So I think the last question, are there any key drills that you really like to do? You know, obviously questions are more about Rafa, but you run an academy with amazing students. I want to know how to hit a forehand like Carlos Moya, but you know, are there certain drills that you really in your career you love to do that say like these are critical drills for people to focus on? Or do we have to come to Mallorca to see?
We define the work in different colors. We speak about the technical work. The pattern is a green color because we don't take decisions. And the tactical work, we take red color because you take decisions. Then we have rallies and drills. If we define this type of rallies or drills, if we put the color that they are, you know, with that, we make the planification. For that, we have a lot of what do you want to work. Finally, they are not good drills about drills. It's what you want to do with these drills, no? For example, you want consistency. You cannot make 3 shots and winner. You know, we need to make consistency. We are at the beginning. I was very obsessed in the technique. I want to be honest. We make so many work in the technique, in the backswing, and finally now I am more care about the decisions, the tackle decisions, and the emotional control. You know, and we make this kind. For example, I put one example. For example, the emotional control is difficult to play with that. Not you create an atmosphere, a stress atmosphere. Is working, and it's funny. It's stressful. It's a little cortisol, but it's funny. In the end, you recover. It's like when you see. I tell the guys, I don't want you happy in the court. I don't mind you are happy in the court. I want you satisfied when you go out of the court. When you go to see a horror movie, you are not happy when you see the horror movie. But then when you go out, you feel satisfied because wow, I control myself, whatever. You know, today the practice is boring. Yeah, I know, because we need to make it boring. We need to make what is necessary. Not always is funny and happy. I'm a little tired, you know, about the fanfare practice, you know.
100 second serves in a row may get a little monotonous, but when you're in the match and you need that second serve and it's so Absolutely. Interesting. You obviously have an incredible resume. We could obviously talk for hours. I would encourage everybody to get a chance. You have your academy in Mallorca, and for us at ICL, it's so important to hear all the different sides. And because we're flexible and we're online, hopefully we can come visit you, and I will be there in 2 months. So I look forward to seeing you. But it's very important for us to have these conversations, and I thank you so much for taking the time.
Will be fantastic. You have time for visit us. I can invite you some specific food, Mallorcan food. That is really good, and we can enjoy it really when you come here. We can speak a lot about everything.
Absolutely. But then really on behalf of ICL, all of our families, our students, we really appreciate this. A lot of coaches are on here, and I think that the tennis world, it exudes life. And I think that tennis coaches together, I think that tennis as a sport, when people come together, even it's an individual sport, I think Rafa and Carlos showed they were really the first players to say, it's my team. I think it's so important to take away the element that tennis is just one person. I think that the tennis community globally is a wonderful a wonderful space to be in. I think that when people dedicate their lives to coaching, to supporting kids, you know, like you said, it's not about the trophies. It's not about making everyone be a professional. It's how do they become the best character, the best people that they can be. And you and your journey. Yes, we've talked about Carlos and Rafa, but at the end of the day, you've affected, you know, thousands of young players' minds and attitudes, and that's huge.
If I have time, I put one example. The people ask me, what is your favorite story? Because everybody think on Nadal or Moya. I speak about one girl, is Lisa Belova. Lisa Belova was an girl that was not good. The father is obsessed in play tennis Europe, and this one he don't want games, no matches games, and come to me say, we was stupid. This one only, the girl is frustrated. We need to go slowly. It will start to work. No, one is 15 years old, was so hard worker with all her intensity in because it's full, and as working one day, say, Jofre, I need to speak with you. I'm making individual work with her. I say, but I want to speak with you. Maybe you will be angry. Say, I don't think so because you work hard. Say, no, it's not that. I don't want to be professional. I think I don't have talent for that. Who spoke about? Say, but he said, I think we need to stop because my work with me is so hard. Say, no. I want, if you agree, I want to carry on because I want to be doctor. Yeah, I'm not very smart. He told me, I'm not very smart. I need a lot of discipline. And now I cannot manage my discipline. I know that. And with you, I manage. One day when I manage, we will stop. You agree? He said, but I'm worried you will be angry. He said, I think it's one of the best projects in my life. You understand? Because it's not only tennis, it's about so many things that we can help the people.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's the goal, the character, the good people. So, you know, thank you for what you do for the sport, for what you do for people, and I encourage everybody to make it to Mallorca and follow you and make sure that, you know, we keep on spreading the exactly what you said. You know, the effort is fun. You know, fun with effort. There's no sacrifice. So thank you so much, Jofre, for your time, and we really appreciate it.
It's a big pleasure. Nice to converse with you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So much. Take care.
Thank you,
Bye,
Jofre.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.